It's Julia, welcome back to my channel. So today we are finally tackling the foundations. I knew the problem was big, but I didn't know it was 52 bottles big. We are carrying on with the, I think it's College Collection Clear Out series. This is episode 2. I already did the eyeshadow palette, so I will link that in the cards above if you want to see that, because that was intensive. But I'm honestly mad that my foundation collection has gotten to this point, because it's not like eyeshadows where you can use it past the expiration date. And even though this is like technically my job, I don't want to have so many bottles of foundation lying around, especially if I don't use or like all of them. So I already took them all off the shelf and sorted them into different categories. I'm just gonna go by like the coverage amount. I'm not really setting like a definite goal of how much I want to get rid of, but I'm thinking like keeping 25 is a pretty good starting point, especially having over 50. So hopefully we can get there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think I've rambled more than enough. Full details of this look should be on Instagram. And yeah, let's do this. I don't even know where to start. I think I'm going to do the medium coverage stuff first, because that is my personal favorite category. Obviously, my current holy grail, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation, is not going anywhere. This formula is just the best for my skin. Medium coverage, it never looks heavy. It has this like very nice satiny, lightly dewy finish. It just kind of ticks all my boxes, and I love this one, so this stays. And then on the occasion that I do go for a matte foundation, my favorite is the Too Faced Peach Perfect. This is one of the most long-wearing foundations I have. And normally I associate matte foundations with being a little bit heavier or on the more cakey side, and this one is such a thin layer on the skin, very breathable, and just doesn't really feel like you're wearing anything. I forgot to mention my shades. I'm in 210N for Anastasia, and then Almond is my perfect shade. These two shades are two of the best shade matches I have, so I'm keeping both of these. Next, I have the Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. I used to own the Flawless Fusion, which I believe is the matte version that everybody really liked, and I hated it so much on my skin. I decluttered that already, but when they came out with the luminous version, I was very excited. I got this one in like end of winter to spring, so I was liking it a lot during those seasons. I was kind of nervous to see how it'd hold up during like summer weather, just because it's a lot hotter here, a lot drier. My skin just gets disgustingly dry. I gave this one about 5 test runs this summer, and it just does not look good on my skin year round, unfortunately. I find that it kind of like sinks into my pores and just gives me this really apparent like almost holy look. If you have trypophobia, it's not great. But the Anastasia foundation I really love, because it is luminous, but as you wear it throughout the day, it doesn't like break up or it doesn't sink into your pores, whereas this one does exactly that. So even though I do love it during like winter and spring, I have so many other foundations that I love year round, and I just can't really justify keeping this one. So I'm going to declutter this. And I was in the shade 1W1 Ivory. Connie is off camera, and she has arrived to kind of keep me accountable and help me get through this. I put on pants for you, Connie. You guys have no idea how many videos I film without pants on. It's really awful. Okay. I'm gonna keep the Tarte Fair-Light. This is one of my favorite, like, very, very dewy foundations. I feel like the Anastasia one is, like, luminous. This one's just straight up wet looking on the skin, which I can appreciate sometimes. This is a very hydrating foundation, not quite as long wearing as my other ones that I just mentioned, but I do think that it's really pretty on the skin, and it has a time and place. So I'm gonna keep this one. It's one of my favorite, like, very, very glowy ones. Becca Skin Love, this is another one of my favorite like medium coverage kind of like skin-like foundations. It's definitely very like lightweight on the skin, and I wore this one to prom, and surprisingly if you powder it down a lot, it really holds up very well throughout the day, and I just think it looks beautiful on the skin. So even though this is not necessarily my perfect shade match, I don't mind mixing this one just to get it to the perfect shade, so I'm gonna keep this one as well. I think I need to be more ruthless here. You do. Next I have the Burt's Bees Goodness Glows Liquid Makeup. This is definitely a very, very glowy foundation, and it's the most egregious shade match I have in my collection. Like, okay.
Not so pale.
Also, I just feel like this is not one of the best glowy foundations, especially on my skin. One of those formulas that looks really good for the first like 1 or 2 hours of wear, and then it just starts to go downhill from there. So this is gonna go to a new home. I'm gonna declutter this one. Okay, this one's kind of hard for me. The Kevin Aucoin Etherealist Skin Illuminating Foundation. This one, clearly, I've used a pretty decent amount. Not as much as like my Too Faced Born This Way, which is yeah. I'm in the shade EF03. It's actually a really good shade match for me. This one, as far as like luminous medium coverage foundations go, it's not like anything super special to me, but it does look really pretty on the face. But at this point, I don't want to keep anything that's like not completely wowable, if that makes sense. Like, this is fine, and I do like how it looks on the skin, but it's not anything where I'm like, that is a really damn good foundation. So I just don't have room for that in my collection anymore. So this is gonna go. Next up is one of my favorite like drugstore foundations, and it's in a really pretty bottle too. The Pacifica A Light Clean Foundation. Vegan, cruelty-free, oil-free, anti-shine, and satin finish. I just read the bottle. I don't know why I said that. I'm in the shade Neutral Light. It's a really decent shade match for me, and it kind of reminds me vaguely of the Anastasia foundation. I kind of just got this one. I don't think I've tested it enough to a point where I'm like, this is a staple in my collection, but I have really liked how it wears throughout the day. It's not quite as long wearing as again, the Anastasia foundation. How many times am I going to compare it to that? But I do think it's really pretty on the skin, so I'm going to keep this one for now.
You look like a toe.
I really do. A dewy toe. A dewy hoe! That's for the blooper video. Coming out in October when I run out of content to upload at college. Ooh! Too Faced Born This Way. I've used so much of this, like we're down to here now, so it'd be kind of stupid to get rid of this one. I'm just going to try and finish this one up. I don't think I'm going to repurchase it after I finish, just because I've been really loving my Anastasia foundation, but it is one of my favorite, like, luminous, medium coverage, really nice and skin-like foundations. So I love this one. I think I will wait to repurchase this one because I do have other things I'm trying to use more often, but I'll just finish this one up and then it's gone. I think I'm going to do the same thing with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation. This one, I also used up so much of this one. It was one of my first foundations. It's also extremely lightweight on the skin, but it actually has a surprising amount of coverage for something that is water-based. I'm in the shade Fair-Light Neutral. It's a really, really good shade match for me. So I'll finish this one up as well. Probably will not repurchase it, but not because it's bad, just because I have too many things. Next up is this indie brand foundation. It's from Hailey's. This is a indie brand sold at Target now, so is it really indie? And this is the Reset Liquid Matte Foundation. This formula really reminds me of the Too Faced Peach Perfect. I have the shade 2.15 Neutral. It's not the best shade match for me, and these are pretty much the same formula. This is a perfect shade match for me, so I'm going to keep this one, and even though the bottle is really interesting and very nice for travel, I just don't really need this one, so I'm going to get rid of this. It's like 80% full. CYO Life Proof is one of my favorite drugstore foundations. It's just a really, really good formula. However, I have heard that CYO is being discontinued, which makes me very, very sad, but I've heard that the Soap and Glory foundation, I think, is the same formula as this one. So I think I'm going to keep this one. It doesn't necessarily make sense to keep this because I can't necessarily recommend it because you can't really get it anymore, but I do love this one and I need to make myself happy too. So I'm going to keep this one for now. The Physicians Formula, I can't say Physicians Formula.
Can't wait to be a doctor who can't pronounce the word physician.
The Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. I said it correctly. Wow, okay. This was one of my favorite, like, very medium coverage luminous foundations for a while. It's got SPF 20, and it has this huge doe-footed applicator. It's a very interesting foundation, so you kind of just, like, swipe it on like this, and then you blend it out with a sponge or a brush. I think it looks really beautiful on the skin. However, it's not a perfect shade match for me, and normally that wouldn't necessarily stop me just because I do have like shade mixtures that I like to like throw in there. Because it's a doe-footed applicator and I just like kind of swipe it onto my face, it makes it harder to mix, if that makes sense. And it does have a slight paint scent, not to the level of the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, but it still has a slight scent that goes away after a while but still kind of bothers me. So I think I'm going to get rid of this one. I wish they would do a shade extension on this line because it truly is an amazing formula, but Physicians
I am so powerful. My mind, oh.
Physicians Formula has never really been the most inclusive with their shades, which sucks. Next up I have the LA Girl Pro Coverage Foundation. This is one of the only like very full coverage but also very dewy foundations that I have in my collection. It's also an HD foundation, so it looks really beautiful on camera. I have the shade Porcelain, and for a while I really did like this foundation, but over time I kind of noticed my skin looking weirdly like orangey pink on camera whenever I'd wear this one. Even though my skin looks smooth and beautiful, it just didn't look like the right color for me. So I've kind of noticed that LA Girl's undertones tend to lean towards the peachy side, especially if they are marketed as the warm toned ones. So normally I would expect like a warm toned foundation to have a very nice yellow tint, but this one has like a peachy, almost leaning towards like the rosy red side, which looks very orange on me. So it's $9, but I don't like the shade on me, and it is a good formula, so I would recommend it, but I don't really need this one in my collection because I have so many other very nice foundations. Flower Beauty Light Illusion puts the dew in Do You Know the Muffin Man? Our Lord and Savior, Shrek. It's another one of those drugstore foundations that has a beautiful bottle but an awful shade range. I have the shade Ivory L2, and this is straight up the most luminous dewy foundation that I have in my collection. It's even more dewy than the Tarte Concealer. I feel like this one is wet looking on the skin, but if you powder it down, it just looks beautiful throughout the day. Whereas this foundation, this is like a 4-hour wear tops foundation before it starts to look too much. So if I'm like going out to the club, I'll put this one on and it'll look like very nice until I get home. I want to keep it with my heart, but I have so many other things similar to it that I probably shouldn't. So right now I'm just gonna place it here, and then if by the end I haven't got enough foundations in this basket right here, I'll get rid of that one too. The BH Cosmetics Liquid Foundation. This one is always on sale. I think I got this for like $4 at Ulta one day. I was really interested in this one because they had a fair olive shade, and it half Asian in me has the like yellow warm undertone, but the half Mediterranean in me also has a warm undertone, but it also kind of lean towards the olive side, especially during summer if I go outside and slightly tan. It is a very glowy foundation, but over time I found this one just looking really weird and cakey on my skin, especially as I've gotten drier. I feel like this one clings to dry patches. So I used to love this one when I was just a little bit more of like, not even oily, just more normal skin, but now that I have so much dry skin everywhere, this one is not really good for me, so I'm gonna get rid of this. All right, and then last up in the medium coverage category, this is the Lottie London Selfie Ready Medium Coverage Matte Foundation in the shade Light Beige. Really, really cute little bottle. This is a full ounce, and it's, I think, only $8. I think this is a very underrated drugstore brand, and I actually do like this formula. I just don't really wear anything medium coverage that's also matte. I feel like if I'm gonna go for a matte foundation, I'm probably gonna want full coverage as well, so I don't really have a use for this in my collection. Gonna get rid of this. I was actually very surprised when I was organizing my foundations into the different categories, because my personal preference is kind of like medium to full coverage luminous foundations. So I was very surprised that my biggest category was like full coverage matte, which is actually good because that means I can get rid of a lot of these things. I guess I'll start with the new Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. This one I'm still testing out and I will be reviewing at the end of the month.
Yeah, that already happened.
I'm in the shade 140. I really, really, really hated the original Fenty foundation, the Pro Filter Matte Foundation. It just looked so bad on my skin. I was very excited to see them coming out with something that would be suitable for dry skin, and so far, testing it out. Mixed feelings on this one, but I will fully elaborate once I've tested it out a little bit more. So I'm gonna keep this one for now. The LA Girl Pro Matte HD Foundation. It's the matte counterpart to the illuminating one that I just got rid of. If I got rid of the illuminating one, which I like more than this one, I probably don't need this one as well. Again, the kind of undertone thing is the same. This is the shade Bisque, which is supposed to be like the Fair-Light warm toned one, and it just looks very like peachy and almost orange on me sometimes, so gonna get rid of this one as well. ColourPop No Filter Foundation. This is one of my least favorite formulas I've ever tried, and when it first came out I thought I really liked it. I think I was trying to convince myself that I really liked it, but it doesn't look good on my skin, and it never has. But I didn't like this one, so I tried out the stick foundation. I don't like that one either. I already got rid of that one. But I feel like a lot of people who have not as dry skin as me also don't like this one, so I don't know what it is about this formula, but the bottle's cute and messy. Okay. Alright, my two foundations from Hourglass, I have the Vanish Stick Foundation and then the Vanish Liquid Foundation. I know that everybody likes this one and hates this one. I'm the opposite. I like this one, and I don't hate this one, but I don't think it looks the best on my skin. But they were expensive. This one was like $58. This was $48. I don't know what I was on when I bought these.
I have done nothing wrong ever in my life.
I know this, and I love you.
Money, please!
I'm in the shade Bisque. I've used up, like, I would say a good 75% of this one, so I'm gonna keep this. It does look really pretty on my cheeks. It just, whenever I have any sort of dry patch, this one will catch on to it. So when my skin's doing a little bit like less dry, I do like using this one. It does look really pretty and very light on the skin. It's just whenever I have any sort of dry patches, this one is a no-go for me. I'll keep this one for now. When I finish it, I will not repurchase it. The Hourglass Vanish Seamless Finish Liquid Foundation. I do like this one a lot more, just because it is extremely full coverage that you only have to use a very small amount. So I feel like this one is one of my favorite foundations for when I just don't want to look like I'm wearing any foundation, but I do have things I want to cover up because there's such a huge amount of coverage and such a small amount of volume. So I use like a half pump. It covers my entire face, but it doesn't look like I'm wearing anything because I don't have this like thick layer of product across my face. So it does look awful if you use too much. Like, I've used a full pump of this one and it looked ghastly on my skin, but I think it's a really pretty, very full coverage and very nice light layer across the skin, so I'm gonna keep this. YSL All Hours Foundation is my favorite foundation for events. Anything I know I need my foundation to last all day long. I wear this one when I go to Disneyland. It's touch-up free. I don't have to do anything to it. I just put it on and I know it's gonna look good throughout the day. It's the most long-wearing foundation, but it looks beautiful on the skin. Like, it doesn't look like you're wearing a cakey layer. It's a really good formula, so I'm gonna keep this one as well. Kind of weird though, because I feel like designer brands, like especially designer brands that make clothing, don't necessarily make the best makeup, except for YSL. I feel like YSL is kind of the exception, but Givenchy, disgusting! I feel bad because Givenchy makes my favorite bag that I own in my entire life, but the Tarte Tour Everwear 24-Hour Wear Satin Finish Full Coverage Comfort Foundation, it's anything but that. I don't think this has a satin finish. I think it is full on matte. YSL All Hours is matte, but it doesn't look completely heavy and gross. This one just kind of looks like I'm wearing a layer across my face. It doesn't sink into the skin. It just kind of like sits on top of the face and doesn't look nice. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. It is very bouge, but I don't really need this one anymore. And then the other designer foundation that I have is what I'm wearing on my skin right now. I tested it out this morning just to see, like, for one last time, do I want to keep this one? This is the Dior Skin Forever foundation. I bought this on the recommendation of Jaclyn Hill because she is very effective at using adjectives and getting me to buy things. You know how I feel now. It is a very full coverage foundation. It definitely looks like doll-like on the skin. I really like how it looks on my cheeks and also on my nose, but on my forehead I feel like it just looks kind of gnarly. I'm gonna put this one with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion because I do really like how this one looks on the rest of my face, but I think I might need to use a little bit less on my forehead. So I'm gonna put this one in the maybe pile, and then by the end, if I've done well enough, I will keep these ones for a couple more rounds and then declutter if I don't want them. This is a foundation that I keep exclusively to shit on whenever I do a bad products video. The Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Stick Foundation. I have the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie liquid foundation. I really like this one a lot, so I'm gonna keep this one. But this, even though I do love bringing it up whenever I do a bad products video, I don't need to keep it just to do that. I can just flash a picture on screen. I think it's dumb to keep things that you don't like just for the sake of having them for a video. So I'm gonna get rid of this one and I'm gonna keep this one. Oh my god, the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation. You have no idea how many bottles I've gone through of this one or how many bottles I've bought of this one trying to find a good shade match for me without realizing that there are in fact no good shade matches for me. So their old lightest shade was 01 Creamy Vanilla, and this is a couple shades too dark for me. So the formula is nice, but it's not anything super special to me. I feel like it's just another one of those like very full coverage long wearing foundations, so it does look nice throughout the day, but I just don't think it's anything particularly special. So I'm gonna get rid of this one as well, and I'm not buying any more because I've gone down this road too many times. Oh my god, the Milk Makeup Blur Liquid Foundation. The last time I touched it was when Connie was over and we did the chopsticks video, and I have not used this one since. I haven't cleaned it off since, clearly. This is surprisingly full coverage for the texture that it is, which is like almost a watery texture. It actually looks very nice on the skin. I don't feel like it blurs anything, really. I can still see my pores, I can still see my texture. Do I need it though? No. I don't think it's anything particularly amazing. I do like how it wears throughout the day, but it's not anything I really need. So I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm still testing out the Ofra Absolute Cover Foundation. This is not a new formula, I believe, but it's a new bottle. They repackaged everything. So from what I can tell, I do like how the formula wears. I think it looks really beautiful on the skin, but these oxidize like crazy. It's gonna dry down to be at least like 4 different shades deeper than this. It oxidizes like crazy on the hand. It doesn't oxidize as badly on the face, but it still does kind of change color. So you're gonna want to buy a shade that's a lot lighter and maybe a different undertone from what you get, because I have the yellow undertone and it kind of turns very tan and orange, so I can really only use this one if I blend it down my neck. I'm gonna keep this one for now and see if I can try and fix the shade thing, but if I can't, this is going to. Ooh, okay, I haven't used this one in a while. It's the Becca Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream. They have since repackaged this, so I have the old bottle. I have the shade Sand. It's such a 2015 foundation, if you know what I mean. It just, I feel like foundations have evolved to a point where you can get full coverage where it doesn't look as heavy as this or just as apparent as this. It has good coverage, but it doesn't look nice on the skin. So I think you know what I mean if you've been wearing foundation for a long time. But I'm gonna get rid of this one as well. I just haven't found a need for it. The Catrice HD Liquid Foundation. This is one of my favorite formulas as well. Almost kind of like the YSL All Hours, but it's a bit more of like a thin, like liquidy foundation, so it just looks very light and skin-like on the skin. It's another one of my favorite like event foundations, or if I just know I need my skin to look really good. Also, it's HD, so it looks just beautiful on camera. I love wearing this one when I film. So I have the shade 010 Light Beige. I believe they have done a shade extension of this line, but their old shade range was egregious. I think they do have a few more shades now. It's a little bit more inclusive, but still, it's a drugstore brand. Every single drugstore brand I know could probably fit to be more inclusive. So this is gonna stay. It's one of my favorite formulas. One of the best shade ranges at the drugstore is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. They came out with this sometime, I think last year in fall with Alyssa Ashley, and first reviewed this one. I thought it was like kind of meh. It looked full coverage, matte, as it was supposed to, but it's really not anything super special. I think the shade range is amazing, especially for the drugstore. I have the shade Vanilla. The undertones do lean more to the yellow side. This is supposed to be the neutral, and it definitely is very yellow. So I think really the best thing about this foundation is the shade range itself, not the actual formula. So I feel no reason to keep this one. The formula is not anything for me. These two foundations are actually, I would say, almost the same formula, the No. 7 Stay Perfect foundation and the Lancome Tunti Dole. I don't know what they put into this formula, but this is a beautiful, beautiful foundation. It is a cult favorite for a reason, very full coverage, but I use a very thin layer of it and it just covers up everything I want it to. Stays in place all day, looks beautiful. So these both wear amazingly throughout the day. However, something weird I've noticed is that No. 7 foundations have a really weird undertone, like all of them, in that they look gray on the skin. So I have the shade Warm Ivory, and in this shade I have 160 Ivory Warm. So they're similar shade names. Like this looks almost gray in the bottle and it looks ashy on the skin. I found that as a problem with every single shade I've tried from No. 7, so I don't know what it is, but it's just a weird shade range. So I'm gonna get rid of this one and I'm gonna keep this one. Kind of like the Pure Foundation Stick, I've been keeping the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation exclusively so I can crap on it whenever I do a shitty products video. And I don't want to keep this foundation just for the sake of dunking on it, so you guys know how I feel about this one. It's got a paint scent, it looks really bad on the skin, especially if you have dry skin, and I just don't love it. So I'm gonna get rid of this one.
Oh yeah, it does not smell, it smells like nail polish.
Yeah, right? Like, how do they expect us to put that on our face and feel safe? I actually really like the e.l.f. Flawless Finish foundation. This one is also $6 like the Wet n Wild one, but they have a pretty decent shade range. I believe they have expanded it as well over time. But it's very full coverage. It's one of the few like foundations I prefer with a brush than a sponge. I just feel like it's a very thick formula and it looks really nice diffused out. And I really like how this one looks on the skin. It has a very interesting, like, kind of baby powder almost scent. And I do like this one, but I don't love it anymore. I just feel like there's a lot of better things I have. So I'm gonna get rid of this one, even though I do like it and I do still kind of like recommend it. I don't necessarily need it. The king of all full coverage foundations, this walked so that Nikki Tutorials could run. This is the Dermacol Makeup Cover Foundation. I've tried, I think, 3 different shades of this one. I have the shade 207. It doesn't look good all over my face as a foundation. Like, it covers everything, but it just does not wear well. I think it's nice as like a mixer to add in extra coverage, and it's probably a really good thing to have if you're a makeup artist. But I have this very vivid memory of a day that I wore this to school. No one told me that my skin was literally like flaking off in chunks, so that was great. That was the day that I was told that I was going to be giving a TED Talk, so I literally talked to Mr. wearing this one, and he had to look at my face for like 5 minutes, and I got into the car afterwards and I like saw like flakes of my skin coming off, and I was like, did I really just like have the most important conversation of my junior year with like my skin literally coming off in chunks?
Like,
great. So I do really like this one, and I think it would be a good thing to have in your kit, but I have so many other things in my kit that I use more often than this, and I have a bad memory with this one, so I'm gonna get rid of this for now. It was fun to try out, but I don't need it. Alright, next up, the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation. I've had this one for quite a bit, and back when my skin was like normal, I hated this one, and now that my skin's dry, I actually don't hate it anymore. It is really full coverage. I feel like it's kind of like the stick foundation equivalent to the Huda Beauty Faux Filter foundation, which I have decluttered in the past like month because I've realized that one is too perfumey, it breaks me out, the ingredients are not great, and it just is too heavy on my skin. So I got rid of that one, and I was gonna keep this one because it was kind of like a similar look on the skin, but it didn't have that aggressive scent and it didn't have a very aggressive texture. But I just don't really think I need this one. I don't know. I'm gonna put this one in the maybe pile again, so that might go. Not sure. I think I need to test that one more last time. The Moira Complete Wear Foundation. You guys know how much I love this brand's eyeshadows. Their palettes are beautiful. This is a weightless full coverage ultra long wear foundation, and I have the shade Light Ivory. I haven't really dabbled much into Korean beauty, or especially like Korean foundations. I feel like they're more on the side of like dewy, almost lighter coverage, so it was very interesting to see a full coverage Korean foundation. I don't love this one on my skin, honestly. I just normally expect kind of like a glass skin-like finish for foundations, especially if they're Korean, and this one just looks very, again, kind of apparent on the skin. So I don't love this one. I think I'm gonna pass this one along. I do love this brand a lot though, so if you're gonna buy anything from them, the eyeshadow palettes are the way to go, not this. Last in the full coverage department is the Kevyn Aucoin New Foundation Balm. So this is a new release. I don't know, I think the first time I wore this one, I was like, wow, I have very awful skin. So I think now that my skin's a little bit clearer, again, my skin kind of just changes throughout the month. Like last week, my skin was doing amazing. I posted like a no makeup picture on Instagram, and then I had like a really greasy taco meal, and the next morning I woke up with like acne all over my chin. I will be reviewing this one at the end of the month, but I'm gonna keep this one for now. All right, last category is up. we're tackling the light coverage, and I have coverage, and I have the least amount of these, which is kind of weird because you know I love a good, like, no makeup look. My Lord and Savior Charlotte Tilbury, the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless, no, that's not what it's called. The Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This isn't necessarily a foundation, but it is like this, like, very light coverage veil. It's like a foundation substitute, so I kind of just like swipe this one on when my skin's doing really nice and I just look insanely dewy and beautiful. It's also really beautiful as a cream liquid highlighter, so I love this with my whole heart, not going anywhere. The bottle's beautiful, and Charlotte Tilbury, I would love for her to adopt me. Another one of my favorites is the Thrive Cosmetics Buildable Blur CC Cream. This is a cult favorite product amongst people who really like very glowy, beautiful skin, and I love this one. I do have a Get Ready With Me where I use this one on the skin. I think it just looks beautiful. I just think it looks beautiful. It's SPF 35 as well, so I really like wearing this one to like the beach or just like on a nice summer day. I think it's gorgeous. So I'm gonna keep this one as well. I have 3 different like kind of tinted moisturizer products, which is too many for somebody. I think you would just really only need like one good tinted moisturizer, so I think I need to get rid of at least one of these. The Tarte Guard Tinted Moisturizer, this was one of my first ever complexion products. Like I bought this one when I owned maybe like 5 foundations. Oh, how the times have changed. I'm in the shade Light. They don't have the best shade range for this one, but again, it's like a tinted moisturizer, very light coverage products. You don't necessarily need to have like 40 shades, I guess. I love how this one looks. It is a tinted moisturizer, but I feel like you can build this one up to like a nice light coverage foundation. And I have decluttered this in the past and then regretted it instantly, so I'm gonna keep this one. And these two are kind of similar to me, the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Oil Free, and then the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. These look very similar on the skin. I have the shade True Beige Buff and 1W1 Porcelain. It's like a cult favorite product, especially among like the British royalty. So Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton both wear this one as a complexion product, which makes me want to keep it. But I feel like this one is geared definitely more towards like oily skin. This is a little bit too dark for me as well, and I feel like it's really hard to mix tinted moisturizers to kind of get to a good shade match. So because of that, I'm gonna get rid of this one, the Laura Mercier, even though I do love the formula. It's hard for me to mix this one and get it to look natural with my skin. And then I'm going to keep the NYX one for now. I want to see how this one holds up during winter because I only got this one a couple like months ago and I think it looks really beautiful during summer, but gotta see how it lasts throughout the season. So I'm going to keep this one for now. Alright, then I have a bunch of these little drop foundations. So one of them is the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. I have the shade Vanilla and it is a little bit too light for me, but I was using it for a while as a shade mixer. I do not like how this one looks on its own on the skin. I feel like you'd have to use a shit ton of drops to actually get to like a decent amount of coverage, and then if you use that many drops it just looks weird and heavy. So I don't like this one and I don't need it as a mixer because I have these. These are the AOA Studio A+ Buildable Satin Foundation. These are $1.88 each. Somehow 88 cents from the dollar is actually donated to an educational charity, so I love this brand. I love AOA Studio a lot, and I have a bunch of shades of these ones. I don't think I need these for my actual collection, but I want to put these into my kit, and I'm also going to get a few other shades because I do freelance makeup work on some people. I'm actually doing makeup for a pageant later in the month. These are going to go into my kit and out of my actual collection, but I'm still going to like have them. I just won't be using them on myself. Of these 3 foundations, I'm going to keep the Dior one just because I spent hella on it. Flower Beauty Light Illusion, I think I'm going to use one more time just to kind of see if I really do need to keep it. And then the Makeup Revolution Stick Foundation. I don't need it. I'm going to get rid of it. Alright guys, I'm going to count to see how many foundations we have left. Whoa. So the goal was 25 foundations to keep out of 52. We have 23. Yeah! I'm very happy with how this looks now. Now I actually have room to put my concealers back up there. So I'm going to actually put my concealers up here. And I will do a pan so you can see how it looks now. I'm very, very happy with what we did today. So we got rid of this entire basket of foundations. Whatever I bought myself will be on my Poshmark. Whatever was sent to me in PR, I will give to friends. And whatever Connie wants, Connie gets. Thank you to my amazing Connie for helping me out with this one. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below and also follow me on Instagram to see makeup looks like this, I think. Posted every single day. Or not really. I try. And if you made it to the very end of this video, you iridescent hippopotami, you get the bonus meme. Love you. Bye.
Run.